Hey everyone, and welcome to this hummingbird theme setup for June. I actually came up with the hummingbird theme way back in March, and I just haven't been able to use it yet. So thankfully, for June, I didn't have anything else planned, and I'm finally able to use this theme. So for all of the font in this theme, I'm using the Erva Esra font from Fontspace. And the purple eclipse calligraph from Archer and Olive. I'm also going to be using the lilac calligraph from Archer and Olive for all of the lines. I think all of the stickers and washi in this particular theme are from Journalsay. So the hummingbird stickers are called like hummingbird and flowers stickers, and then they have this purple squares PET washi, and then there's the blue like swirly washi also from Journalsay, and all of these PET hollow stickers are from Journalsay as well. While I set up the content dashboard and my little calendar, I'm going to tell you guys the quote that I used, which is, "In a world full of eagles and hawks, be a hummingbird. Vibrant, unique, and capable of hovering in places others cannot reach." I took this to mean be yourself, be uniquely yourself, and be unapologetically you. Which I will be very shortly. As I finish writing the title for June on this page, I'm going to move on to adding the decorations. By the time I get to the calendar, you'll probably notice before I did that I made a bit of a mistake. But for now, we'll just put down some stickers before I even realize it. Does anybody else really struggle with PET washi? Because I was having the hardest time with the purple squares one. I don't know if it's because the backing was so thin and the washi is so thin, but it was giving me the worst time. And I'm still blissfully unaware of my mistake here. I won't realize what I've done wrong until I start numbering all of the days. And this is where I've realized I made a mistake. So we're just gonna color in those days, and that's how you fix that particular mistake. And because my content dashboard is so much easier to use when I have a second line highlight, I've just gone in with this really peachy Tombow to do that. Moving on to my trackers, we're just going to be cutting down some of the elements so that they fit on the page a little bit easier. And following that with my headers. I'm going to be doing the mini calendars for my habit tracker this month. I really like the mini calendars. They seem to work the best for my habit tracking. I will change it up every once in a while, but these are kind of my go-to. They're just kind of easy to do, and once you figure out what the shape of your month is, it's not that hard to just go in and put in some lines. And once I put in the last couple of lines here, I will be moving on to my mood tracker for the month after I put in some indicators for the weather. I decided to try to do this stamp mood tracker I've seen so many people do. I finally figured out that I had some stamps that would probably work. I'm just kind of boistering up the back of the journal there because I'm at the very end of my journal and it's not very flat. But yeah, these flowers, there's quite a few of them on here, so I really only need to do 3 of these big flower stamps, and then I'm going to add in some smaller flower stamps just to make up the 31 days in June, and that will be my mood tracker for the month. I'm gonna go in later and I'll number them so I know which ones to color in which day, but there is actually enough space to color these in, and they still look really nice and delicate and kind of go with the hummingbird stickers pretty well. Once I've counted and double checked that I have enough spaces, I'm going to add my key up in the corner here, and then I'm going to decorate the rest of the remaining space. Now that I have all my decorations down, I'm just going to go back in and put in all the numbers for the actual days that I'll be tracking on these. I kind of try to go from top to bottom as much as I can in kind of like a linear fashion. Up next are my miscellaneous trackers for the month. I'm always record some stats and have a little spot for any monthly notes I might have, as well as all of the media I watch in a month. So that could be TV shows or movies or YouTube's episodes of whatever channel I happen to be really vibing with at the time, along with obviously all of the bullet journaling content. I am also really into this one food channel called Sorted. They're in the UK. Shout out to those guys if they ever see my video. They're just a really fun group of guys that do a really good variety of food related content, and they're really fun. Do you have anything that you typically love to watch in a month, or other than journal content? Let me know in the comments. I'm just cutting down these giant PET sticker, like hollow stickers. They're so huge. Like you could legitimately use them to create windows, but I really wanted them for decoration, so that's why I'm cutting them down. I do lose a little bit of the pattern that's on them, but that's okay. I really just want them for the hollow because my goodness, look at that bottom right corner is so shiny. But after a lot of struggling with that PET, I have finished the miscellaneous trackers for my month. I'm moving on to my meal tracker. I literally just track which meals I'm eating. It's really great for leftovers, so I know when stuff went into the fridge. I am notoriously awful at labeling my leftovers, so it's really, really handy because I can just look at my journal and be like, oh, we had spaghetti on Monday. It is now Thursday. Is that spaghetti still good? Questionable. But because I'm me and all of my pages of my journal have to be on theme, I'm also doing the header with the same font that I've been using all along, as well as matching all of the straight lines to the theme as well. And then, as you saw at the beginning, I was cutting up some of the hollow PET to put at the top, so I'll do that, and then also have the rest of my elements as well. When I say it was a struggle with this square PET washi, it was a struggle. I don't think it took me like any less than 30 seconds to peel that backing layer off of that PET tape. It was absolutely crazy. I cannot believe how hard it was to get that to come back off the backing. You'll notice this one starts on a Monday, and that's because June for me starts on a Monday. So I've taken off one of the rows on this tracker to make sure that I don't have extra space. And we're finally into my weeklies. I've got a interesting weekly here. It's only 6 days. So I'm going to have 3 days on one side and 3 days on the other side. And then any extra room I'm going to use for decoration. Essentially, this spread is split into quarters horizontally. And then I've just trimmed it down so that the edges of each page can be used for decoration. And then I'm going to kind of stagger the PET hollow stickers so that I get a neat effect on the page. But once I was done fighting with the square PET, all the other washi and stickers went down fairly easy. As you can see, it's pretty fast after I stopped fighting with the square PET. Just kind of reorganizing and rejigging the stickers a little bit and adding some more washi until I'm kind of happy with it. The really great thing about using PET stickers is that you can really see how they're going to look on the page before you even stick them down, because obviously they're transparent, so they just, sit there and you can tell what it's going to look like. But we just need to do some days of the week. I'm just doing the short form of all the days, and then we're moving on to the second weekly for June. This one I've divided the 2 pages into thirds horizontally, and then I've divided each of those into half, and that'll give me 8 across the top. The bottom one is completely for decoration. I'm going to have one extra up at the top left-hand corner that I'm going to use for decoration, but everything else will be for actual planning. And again, once I actually stop struggling with that square PET washi, I can put down the rest of the washi and stickers really quickly. Again, I'm just flipping back to check the actual date because I know I have a Sunday start, but I can never remember what actual day it is. And then once I have all of those, I'm done with the second weekly for June. The third weekly for June is essentially the same layout. I've just kind of moved around where the boxes go, which is kind of fun when you kind of think about how you can use the same layout over and over again and just kind of move around where your decoration and boxes go. So on the left-hand side, I have 6 spaces, and on the right-hand side, I have 3 spaces. This is going to leave me 2 extra spaces for decoration as well as the big space along the right-hand side. Because I have these slightly smaller spaces, I'm trying to get all of the elements into them without it being too overlapping. I did want everything to kind of be seen once all the big hummingbird stickers were down, so that's why I was kind of playing with the placement of all the elements and kind of offsetting the stickers just a little bit so I can see everything once the stickers are down. But that will be it for the third weekly for June. Then I'm going to move on to my fourth weekly for June. This one I've done a fully vertical spread. If you guys have been around a while, you know I'm not a huge fan of vertical spreads in an A5 journal, but in the square journal, they work just fine. I have lots of space in the square journal. So I've done a column or a staggered columns setup on this one. So I'm going to have every alternating 2 days up and down, as you can see. And then I'm just going to decorate the spaces that are above or below those. I actually had one of the fiber loops break. That's why I was trying really hard to do a weird thing at the right hand side there. I was trying to make sure that I had the string under the sticker, so it gave the journal a little bit more stability and helped it stay together. I really didn't know how else to fix it. That was, in my opinion, the best option I had, since I don't know how to bind books. And I didn't want that just laying out and potentially causing problems down the line. But after a little bit of finessing, I'm finally going to put down my hummingbird stickers, and then I will put down the days of the week. Oh, I'm really sorry. That's really out of focus. Sorry, guys. And my final quote-unquote weekly for June is a 3-day weekly. I like all of my days of a month to stay together, so sometimes I get these weird half weeklies where I have, you know, a very few days, or I'll try to get, if there's only like 1 or 2 days, I'll try to get it onto a more full spread. But if there's 3 days, I can, like 3 to 4 days, I can usually make it work on its own spread, because I have meal tracking that usually goes along with those last couple of days. So on the left hand side, I've done my meal tracking, and on the right hand side is my actual weekly spaces. I've just done full half and half on the right hand side for the weekly spaces. And then because I have so much extra room, I'm using these really big wide pieces of this hollow, or of the hollow PET stickers, as well as, you know, struggling with the washi squares, as I have been doing all along. I'm actually so glad I used up all of this washi for this theme, because this was one of the worst things I've ever had to do to myself. I don't want to do it again, so I'm really glad I've used up all of that washi for this theme. And then, of course, it would not be complete without our hummingbird stickers. And that is June's setup in my Tiefossi square journal. This is actually my last theme in this journal. I think it's gonna close out this journal really well. I'm really looking forward to getting in and trying out that mood tracker. I've seen a lot of other people use stamps for their mood tracker, so I'm looking forward to trying it out myself, and just, you know, it saved a lot of time. Drawing everything all the time is really time consuming, so just being able to do a couple of stamps and be done with it, oh, so nice. But the hollow and everything is really lovely. I'm really excited to be able to kind of catch that in the light while I'm using this. And I'm really looking forward to the warmer weather that is coming to the northern hemisphere. If you stayed with me this long, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.